All right, welcome back, gang. It's June 29th. Getting together and chat about YouTube and video and all that stuff. I wanted to before we started recording, Sean mentioned you're changing locations. And is it going to be in a basement? You said.
It's going to be like in an office. The house was created for like an office space, but there's only going to be one main big window in there. So I'm thinking about maybe getting some dark shades to put over because I'm probably not going to want to open those windows at all too much. But just trying to get the lighting right so there's not a whole lot of glare and things like that, which you want the video to be clean.
Yeah, that's always the trick. And you're thinking you're going to do a green screen then, or like a background like I have. I'm not actually in front of a brick wall. That was probably pretty obvious.
Right. Something I can kind of taper up to the top of the wall and kind of pull down as needed when I'm recording, and then something they can go back up where it's kind of clean, not in this way. It's not kind of hanging down the entire time I'm not using it.
Well, take this for what it's worth. I did not have a green screen for a long time, and my main podcast has this Jimmy John background, which I like. And you could see it kind of distorts. It kind of goes all back to the futurists when things start kind of disappearing. But so I went ahead and got a green screen, and I actually stopped using the green screen mostly because it was a real big pain in the butt. It was huge. Maybe a smaller one would be better. But then when I wasn't using the background, I had this really weird green thing behind me. If you, so that's something to keep in mind. Like no one ever, almost no one ever complained that I didn't have a green screen. If you just want kind of like a backdrop, like I have a brick wall, it doesn't matter. If you want it to look like you're sitting in a room, then I think the green screen becomes more important because it looks like you are actually there. If you just want a background image to kind of hide whatever is behind you and make you stand out a little bit, I think it's debatable on how important a green screen is, but that's just me. I would consider lighting. So the one thing I should have done a long time ago is got some of the soft lighting, which I have here, and it's set by remote. So this is off. This is what it's like with just the lighting in this room, which is not very good. And then you put this on, and it shines a light on your face a little bit, or you can adjust it. So something to think about.
You said you were messing with some YouTube stuff and TikTok. You got some comparisons you were kind of testing out this past week.
Yeah. So I've been really trying to kind of dial in the TikTok and YouTube and Shorts and things like that, and really using Opus. So Opus is I love Opus. They keep updating it, and so I work with my virtual assistant to she uploads my long form videos and then gets them into Opus, and then I from there I do a little minor editing. I pick which clip I want, and then schedule it to go to um, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. You can connect it to LinkedIn, things like that. The challenge that I found and what I've been playing with is there are a few settings that I think are kind of important that you don't necessarily get by feeding it from Opus. Like probably the most important thing is the thumbnail. So shorts, at least in YouTube, you can't adjust the thumbnail after you've published it the way that you can with a long form video. Thumbnail simply is the image that people see when you first show up in their feed, and it's kind of important. Like you don't want your eyes closed, you don't want to be looking this, like you want that to be something. If you're not creating a separate thumbnail, which I do for the long form, but I don't for the shorts. You want to capture an image, a point in time in the short that will catch people's attention and get them to click on your short. So that is something that I have found you can only do well within the, let's say, the TikTok app or the YouTube app on your phone. Like you can't really do it from a desktop, is what I found. So that's what I've been messing with, and I'm happy to go into more about that. But That's what I've been messing with.
I think that so thumbnail I know and title is critically important for listening to this YouTube formula. Good morning, Rockstar Jeannie.
Morning.
She's here. She made it.
I'm not missing this group. I can
All right. How much coffee did you just shoot down?
a lot. I think I got 2 hours sleep, but it's okay. I'll make up for it later.
All right. Oh.
Yeah, we'll sleep when we're not here anymore. You know, that's overrated anyway.
Yeah, I'm not missing you guys. You guys are good.
We're talking about thumbnail, and Craig was talking about Opus Clips and how he kind of structures his stuff. And I got some questions. So, TubeBuddy, they have AI generated thumbnails for you. So I'm trying to debate at this point, Craig, which one do I put money in? I think they can both be used in tandem. I know TubeBuddy gives you analytics and metrics, and it also has AI generative thumbnails and title suggestion based upon what people are already searching for. So it's like its own little Google setup itself for YouTube specifically. So I think that's important, but there's also vidIQ, which you can get that information from. I'm just trying to figure out which one of these to invest my money in. That way I get the most from it.
Do you have an example? You have something you could put up? Have you you don't have TubeBuddy yet, I guess, huh?
No, I've just been looking at what they offer, the AI tools, and what it gives you on the back end to kind of help you with your video content. So, but I think in Opus you can use both those in tandem. Once you have the Opus clips, if you can take those clips and then go to TubeBuddy and then figure out, let it do its thing as far as virality purposes for picking out the phrases that may have potential to go viral, and then may let it create a thumbnail based upon that video. I think they kind of sort of do the same thing. There's a little bit of idiosyncrasies in both of them, though.
So I don't know enough. I looked at TubeBuddy, and I probably will eventually invest in that. Here's my overall impression on TubeBuddy. Again, I don't have it yet. I don't know everything that it can do. I think TubeBuddy is ideal for someone who's been YouTubing for a while and has some data and some videos, because a lot of what TubeBuddy does is it looks at all your videos and it looks at the videos that have done well, and it can give you predictions and recommendations on what to do based on your past body. If you're kind of fresh starting out, it doesn't have much to work with. Not that it might not be helpful, but you probably are not. It's probably not helping you as much getting started, and you may be paying for something that isn't necessarily all that helpful to you, especially if you don't have 3 months, 6 months, year, whatever of working on your YouTube, knowing kind of what videos work and don't work, and having a sense for that. That as far as thumbnails go, on shorts, I don't really see anyone, and I don't really see people creating custom thumbnails for their shorts. Typically, it's just an image, a snapshot, an image shot of that 30 to 60-second clip. Okay, it's a moment in time, and that's pretty much what people do. And I think for those of us that are starting out, I think if you're trying to create custom thumbnails for your shorts, it will really bog you down, and I would not encourage that. I would encourage you to make your short, use Opus or something like that, whatever, to generate your short or reel, and then find an image in time that makes sense. Okay. The things that you can do actually, and let me see here if I can pull up an example. Bear with me, because I'll show you what I was talking about the other day. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll make this a Open. Move to. Okay. So I'm going to try and share this with you. Share screen. Window. There we go. Okay. Do you guys see this screen? Is this my YouTube channel?
Can't see it yet.
Are you seeing it now? Oh, no, wait. You're right. I gotta add it to the. Now you can see it. Okay. So let me show you this here, what I'm talking about. So this is one of my YouTube channels. This is just my lawyer channel. And you can kind of see here some of the things that I've been playing with. So this is what my basic shorts look like. You can see, first of all, I think that having the captions is really valuable. And that's something I do within Opus. You can add logos. I've played with adding my logo in it. I'm not really putting my logo on my shorts anymore. But this is really the this is where I think is probably more important than thumbnails, or actually kind of becomes your thumbnail, is to have this block, this kind of, something that stands out near the top. You can see I've been playing with different things over time. But this white box with the black text in it is something that you can't do within Opus. I'm sure you can do it within Canva if you have something like that. But for those of us that are doing it on our own, what I have found the best way to make shorts, honestly, is to upload the short to a TikTok account. TikTok has a great video editor. I think it has the best video editing tool of, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It is exceptional. You can add music, but more importantly, you can add this up here. And so what I have been doing, for the most part, is uploading it to TikTok, and then when you uploading it to TikTok from your phone, okay, uploading it from your phone, because you have to use the phone app to really be able to use TikTok well, and to create your short, and then when it's or I guess it's a reel on TikTok, it'll automatically save it to your phone, and then you can upload that new file to YouTube, Instagram, whatever. The only thing to bear in mind is it will bear this watermark here, this TikTok watermark. For a while, I suspected that YouTube did not like videos that had the watermark, because it will also add, I think, the YouTube short watermark. But I actually have not found that to be the case. I have not found YouTube to care, and in some ways, I think sometimes it likes that it has that watermark on there. So that is sort of the trade-off, to get the really easy editing tool and to be able to put these. This is what you want. This is what people are going to see when you show up in their feed, right? You can see this stands out more than this, right? And you only get a couple words. Yeah, the title, you get the name. But now look, I only got 33 views on this one. This one I just released this morning. So it's something that you want to like give some attention to your shorts, but you don't want to like overthink it. So I don't know if that answers your question, Sean, but I think that for most of us, whether you use Opus or not, if you get it like a TikTok, or just upload it as a short to YouTube from your phone app, got to use the phone app. It'll allow you to pick a particular image, and you might be able to add block text at the top. I don't remember, now that I think about it, whether you can do it within the phone app for YouTube, but this can really, I have found that on TikTok, at least, the videos that have this at the top tend to get a lot more views than this, because they can see right away what the punchline is. This really stands out. people don't always notice the title as well, and this doesn't really tell you anything about what this video is about. So does that make sense?
It does. I think for me, looking at the one you had, I think if you have the hook right there for the actual whatever the short is,
Mhm.
like if you have the hook, the thing that's going to suck them in, and then
Yes.
they get to see the video, like that to me would be that's where I would probably want to use that white block is the hook. Like get them to prompt them a question, like if you're someone who has XYZ, and then
Yep.
kind of give them something to latch onto, and oh yeah, that's me, and then they click. They get the short and they either consume it or they don't. But I think for me, that would be something, a prompting question to the audience to get them to go further, to even click would be what I would use that space for. So does YouTube give you the function for the captions to change colors and all that, or that was a TikTok feature?
So a couple things quick. Let me show you one other thing, and then I'm going to look up the YouTube app and see if it gives you the chance to put the block on it. So the block you want to keep as short as possible, and maybe the one reason that one video didn't do well is because it was too long. It's got to be short. It's got to be something that people can quickly see within a second or so. Read that text. If they have to read a bunch, it's not really accomplishing anything. Let me go. Okay, so let me add it to the stage. So one thing I want to tell you about though, and I'm going to try and do this without
some objective test. That's nice. But a lot of times you.
Okay, couple things. So you can, nice thing about shorts is you can link it to a long form video. And you can add location tools if you want to make it geographic. But really the most important thing I think about YouTube Shorts is that you can connect it to the longer form video, and people can click on this, and then it will actually it'll take them to the longer form video. So it's a nice connection between the short and the long form video, if that makes sense.
It does. So it basically takes them to your home channel from the short.
It takes it. I mean, they're already on your page, but it takes them from the short to the longer form video. That is presumably that short is a piece of that long form video. It wouldn't have to be. I mean, you could create a short talking about a long form video, but it allows you to connect that short to a longer form video that you already have on your channel.
Have you messed around with Opus at all yourself? Like when you have a long form video, is there a feature on there that you upload just that long form video into and say create 10 shorts from this long form video? Or is it something that is like a step-by-step process to get those shorts out?
No, that's exactly what Opus does.
So you just load it in there and tell it you want 10 shorts and it just populates them?
Yeah, you can. I don't know that you can pick the number, but to give you an example, and if we get some time, I'll actually show you my Opus. I'll show you what it looks like. Actually, let me do that right now.
So I think for me, that's probably going to be something I'd rather invest in sooner than TubeBuddy, because that's going to give me the short to my shorts out quickly per week.
I would, if I had to choose one, I would definitely go with the Opus. If you do nothing else, go with Opus, and let me show you here in a second. Let me see. Okay. All right, I got to load it up here. So let me go back. Okay. You guys can see that on your screen?
Yep.
So this is the back. This is sort of the dashboard for Opus, and actually you can. I've got. Let's see here. Now it's. I'm on Opus because it's an AI. Here we go. it's got different videos here. Actually, it's got our video mastermind there where I use to make some shorts, which is kind of interesting because, there's, when you got multiple people on there, it will, automatically, lay people out on it and stuff like that. But what I like about Opus so much, and it's really come a long way. So what you'll do is you'll upload a video. You either upload the file or you just put a link to the YouTube video into Opus. And depending on the length of the video, it may take 10 minutes, it may take 30 minutes, whatever. And then it will spit out a bunch of shorts, okay, or reels. And let me just scroll down. So this one, I don't know how long this video was. But these are all the different shorts that it created. And so it created 11. I would say on most, like a 30-minute video, I think you can expect to get 10 to 15, maybe as much as 20, probably 10 to 15. If you have a video that's closer to like a minute, it might, or I'm sorry, an hour, it might give you more like 20. With the best videos showing at the top, it kind of ranks them. It gives you the score here. So it ranks your video on, does it have a hook? Does it have a flow? Expected engagement?
Wow.
Is it kind of, and so it's really, really great. And let me show you. So you can edit it. You can edit the clips, which is usually it takes a little tweaking. Sometimes it's pretty spot on. It's AI generated, so it's not, it's a computer doing it, and sometimes it hits it and sometimes it doesn't. It's not it does sometimes get boggy if there are a lot of people on it because it is AI generated. Let me see here. Let's try this again.
I like that trend feature. I mean, you could almost see what's trending, and then you could create content based around that to give you like a little boost.
Yep. Yeah, you can, there's a lot of features in here that are really great. So let me show you a few things that it does. So this is the clip that it gives you. You can play it. Okay. You can play it. You can turn, it used to be you had to decide if you wanted captions on or off before you uploaded it. Now it will allow you to add or take away the captions within it. And then within the captions, you can choose different themes and styles and stuff like that. I usually like this one here. It shows you pauses and ums and uhs. So down here under clean, you can remove pauses or filler words. I'm getting better about not having ums and uhs in it, but it will pick them up and it'll allow you to take them out.
Wow.
And then removes the pauses. So because I'm kind of a pauser, I just take breaks and it picks it up. It takes them right out. So that is really a cool feature there. Okay. You can you can sometimes, like, the accuracy is very good, but sometimes it gets the word wrong. Let's say it's guest. So you just go in here and change that, correct it. You can add sections. So you can do this and it will go and it'll show you. And if you say, well, you know what, I actually want these 3 lines in there too, it'll add it. It'll take a moment to update. You can see here it's kind of processing it. It's usually pretty quick. And then you can add that. You can take words out. You can take sections out. You can drag and drop. Like, there's just so many things you can do. You can take pieces out. You can split it. Let's see here.
Now,
So
you have to save it, or once you do make the correction, it automatically saves it. You don't have, there's not a save function on there, because I know
it will prompt you if you try to go out, if you try to go somewhere without it, but you can then save changes. And I'll show you this quick because it's very quick. And you'll see there's a short processing time. It shouldn't take 3 minutes. Usually it's just a few seconds. But we'll just we'll just let that render for just a moment.
So,
And yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, Jeannie, go ahead. Yeah.
so when you edit, like let's say you take a word out,
Mhm.
are you saying then the video's corrected?
You could do, it'll allow you to do either. You can either remove the word, or you can remove the word and the video. So it's, if you just want the word taken out, it'll play the video and it just remove that word. Or if you want that whole piece taken out, it'll take it out. Or you can cut and remove and stuff like that.
The video, right? We're talking the
Yeah,
video
I'll
and-
show you here. Let me show you quick. So let's say I want to take that. Okay, you can remove the caption, which it'll take the word out, or you remove the caption and video, and it'll actually take that piece out of the thing. Now, sometimes it makes it a little choppy, and you gotta like finesse it a little bit. But you can take out a section there, or you can go down here. Let's see here. Yep, and then let's say I want to take this out, split it, click on that, delete it. Now it's gone, and then it'll just reabsorb it. Okay, it's
So
it's crazy good. Like, it's amazing what this can do. And you can add emojis, and you can affect, you can change how many words or how many lines you want on the video. But this is just such a game changer. Is there anything else about the editing part of it that you wanted to see?
I don't think so, man. I'm probably gonna go and start messing around with it, dude.
Yeah, I would. This is definitely the best tool I have found to make in because we just don't. It does a much better job of anticipating which parts of our long form people are going to like than we are, and that's why I think it's so useful. Now, it's doing it with an AI, but I think it's going to be, and it usually is. It is pretty predictive. But let me show you. This is so what you can do then is you can download it. So you can download it from here. The only thing I will say is I don't think there's a phone app for Opus. Like, you have to do it on a desktop of some sort. So you can download it, and then if you're still on the computer, you can upload it to YouTube, or you can even upload it to TikTok. But the desktop version of TikTok is terrible. I don't do that. But here's where the magic really happens. You click on this, and you can add accounts. You can add, so this is a Facebook page, this is the YouTube page, and then TikTok actually has two separate. So you can send it directly into your feed, or you send it to the inbox. I send mine to the inbox because then it'll go to my inbox, and then I go and I open it up on my phone and do the changes on my phone and whatever. So, and then you just, you can hit publish. You can do, let me show you here. So you can do it as, let's see here. I think there's an option for, let's see here. Yeah, so that's to the inbox. I think you can. I thought there was a way you could schedule it to go to. I think you can schedule it to go to your YouTube page unlisted as opposed to public. Let me just try this once. I probably sent it to my YouTube page public, so I'll have to go delete that. I'm certain there's a setting where you can set it. It'll send it over to YouTube unlisted, and then you can make some edits and then publish live, similar to like the inbox and feed on TikTok. So that is really cool. And what's nice about this is if you end up with a virtual assistant like I do, they can do this. They can schedule. You can add team members, and they can do this part from your your own account. Okay, but it's very easy to use yourself. I mean, I could use it, and it's very simple.
So once you have that Opus clip, can you then upload that to YouTube? It can upload it anywhere, any platform you want it to go to.
Yep, It'll up. You can either send it directly to the platforms, like I just did, or you can download it to your computer and upload it. You can save it. You can do whatever you want. It's a file. It's a downloadable file that you can then get to your phone or get to your computer and upload to those different platforms.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm a big Bobo for Opus.
So you record on StreamYard and
Yep.
then you send it over to Opus.
Yes. I don't do it. My virtual assistant does, but yeah, and it's fast. Yep. So record it. Record on Zoom. You can record it on your phone. You can record it anywhere. You can upload the file. So use a computer, upload the file from wherever it is on your. So you got to get it from a recording thing to a file that you can upload, or if it's on YouTube, it will accept a YouTube link. I don't know if it'll take a link from any other site, but I know it does YouTube.
Oh, so you could record on your phone, upload to YouTube unlisted, then go from there on your laptop and do the editing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
You could even, if you send it over to TikTok in your inbox, then you could also edit in TikTok, save it, and then use that edited version for YouTube and Facebook, right?
And that's actually, I still do a lot of my videos that way, just because, like the block text, if you want that block up there, I'll have to check on YouTube. But if you want that block on there, we have not figured out how to get that on Opus. If we could get that on Opus, that'd be a game changer. But right now, Opus, my VA has looked at that, doesn't seem to have that option. So that's what I do. I send it to the inbox on TikTok, open it up on my phone, do the little edits. You can add music, whatever you want. If you want music in it, it's got the copyright-free music in there, bells and whistles, and then upload it to TikTok. And then, like I said, then you either download it or automatically download and save a copy of that with the watermark on your phone. And then from there, you can upload it to YouTube, Instagram, wherever you want.
So, Craig, when you're recording in StreamYard, are you looking at the camera when you're talking? Or are you looking at the screen that you're on yourself?
I tend to look. I'm looking at you guys right now, so my camera is kind of up here. You guys are here, so I tend to be looking at the screen. I forget that there's a camera there, actually. So,
okay.
I don't know if you can tell or not, but
no, I just know that when we talk, I think some people say that it looks like you're not looking directly at them in the video if you're looking at yourself as opposed to looking directly into the camera.
I think that's probably overthinking things too much. And actually, I've seen people have pretty good luck where the camera, it's just recording from the side quite a bit. So personally, I don't think that matters at all. Maybe that's a fine-tuned adjustment when we have a big audience, but I would figure out what makes you comfortable, what makes you not self-conscious. So wherever it makes sense for you to look. I know we were talking about Jeannie. Jeannie needs to be looking somewhere different than the camera. That's perfectly fine. No one cares. Like literally no one cares.
Awesome. Yeah, I went through ChatGPT last night and I was just typing in hooks. I was just typing in Alex Shamosi hooks to get people to XYZ. Dude, I got so many hooks. I'm just going to print those out and then kind of just rehearse them. Just kind of rehearse them and get comfortable just speaking them with conviction. And then just recording, man, and see if I get some traction from those and redirecting them to my book a call page. And just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, I will be the first to admit I don't really build hooks into my thing. I just, for a variety of reasons. Number one, I'm just not good at it, and I don't put that kind of thought into it. But again, it kind of comes back to what we talked about last week. Like you have to think a little bit about what what is the objective of this video? And this is actually something that I've been thinking about a lot this week. Are you just trying to grow an audience so that you can monetize YouTube? Are you trying to, get direct sales? Are you just trying to warm up an audience? Like, there's so many ways that you can use it. But let me give you this example. So, my day job is a lawyer. I have plenty of video like the ones I was just showing you from my attorney page. I don't really put hooks in there. Maybe at the end I'll say, hey, if you have, reach out to me, go to the description, you can email me or whatever. But I don't even tend to do that because so much of what YouTube, one of the really cool things that YouTube does is people have maybe heard about you. Maybe they've heard your podcast or seen a Facebook post and they want to get to know you more. And so they'll come over to your YouTube channel to just binge. Right. And so it's part of the client journey, getting them to know you, especially if they've only listened on audio. Now they can see you, and part of it is just them getting to form that connection with you. That by the end of it, now they're ready. They're ready. You don't necessarily need or want hooks and all of that. You just want content that people can consume. And I would say, it's even probably especially for those of us on here where we are, you know, trying to promote coaching or whatever like that. I actually think that is kind of important, that it's not constant hook and sales. It's just you constantly putting yourself out there. They get to know you. They so by the time they book a call, they feel like they know you more than they would if they're just listening to you in the car every day.
So, kind of like the old Gary Vee philosophy, I guess, jab, jab, hook, give them away a bunch of free stuff, three or four shorts of free stuff, and then give them a hook. And one of the, like 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, give them something where they can go and be like, prompt them to do something.
Well, and I think in a special way, depending on what you're offering. And again, I'll be the first to say I'm not an expert on marketing and sales and stuff like that. But the way I think of it is this, so like I am working on some kind of free content, some free, like checklists on how I do my content. I'm going to be sharing my Google sheet that I use with my VA to keep track of content and stuff like that. I can give that away, and I should probably have a hook for every one of those. If you're doing more of a kind of a higher dollar thing, like a coaching is a bigger commitment, both in terms of what your time, vulnerability, and money. It takes more time, I think, to build that relationship before people probably are not going to listen to see one of your shorts and be like, this guy's amazing. Let me go pay him $5,000 to do this for me. Like that for most of us doesn't work that way. And so depending on the value and the price tag of what you're offering, it may take more time, more engagement before they're willing to pull the trigger, as opposed to, hey, give me your email and I'll send you this free, ebook or whatever. That's easy, low commitment.
I mean, it took me 6 years to work with Sam and you guys.
Yep.
So, I mean, it took
Yep.
me listening every day,
Yep.
for 6 years before I was like, gotta go.
Yeah. What else? What you guys got?
Why do you have so many YouTube channels?
Oh,
What's your purpose of all those different ones?
it turned out, I would say at first it turned out I couldn't decide and whatever, but actually I've been going more through what's the YouTube book, Sean?
YouTube formula.
YouTube formula? Yeah.
YouTube formula. Turns out, and actually I've been listening to some podcasts recently. I think it turned out to be good because, and I didn't know I was doing it the right way, but it turns out it was good because the YouTube algorithm wants to figure out what your channel is about and who your audience is about. What are they looking for? And the more focused your channel is, the easier it is for YouTube and the algorithm to figure out what content do you do and who is the ideal person they can promote it to. my one channel, Resourceful Lawyer, is kind of a catch-all. It's got everything from fishing, weightlifting, insurance secrets, podcasting. Like, it's all over the board. Like, and it's kind of slow growth, and I think part of that is because I've just been too across, not focused enough, which is okay. That is kind of my sandbox. That's where I play with different things, and I'm not too worried about it. But the and you can even be like for some attorneys, for example, they may have two distinct practice areas that they do. Let's say they do personal injury and long-term disability. They will actually create separate channels for those because there you want to narrow down, you want that content to be constantly pointing towards one group of people, and YouTube will then do a much better job of pushing your content to the people, and it'll be able to identify those people for you. So part of it is just allowing YouTube to do what it wants to do by going out and searching for the people that want the content you have. But you gotta you kind of gotta be kind of clean and consistent so that YouTube can figure that out for you. I think that's probably where a lot of us struggle, is we're just kind of all over the place, and YouTube doesn't know what your channel's about.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with consistency, Craig. I mean, that's going to be key to get YouTube to actually look for our people, because it needs data. It needs to see enough content where it can actually pull and start analyzing to figure out, hey, all these people like motivation and inspiration, or all these people have been through a trauma in their life, for Chris, or, I'm struggling in my marriage with intimacy, Jeannie, and Craig, all the stuff you talk about with your show. Like, as long as you give it the same content consistently, you're going to give it information to feed their algorithm. So it's going to come down to us to just stay the course and, commit to the process as usual, and just kind of be relentless to give it data.
And that's just right. And one of the things that I think, if I was doing this all over again, I would. And YouTube is a bit of a long game. You have to be willing to do it for a little while, to learn about yourself, learn about how you like making videos, what your people want. I was talking to a guy the other day that has podcasts similar to mine, and he was complaining because he had one video that got 400 views, and then the next 6 that got hardly any. He's like, I'm done with YouTube. I'm like, you did it for a week. Like, you can't do that. He gave up. Same thing with TikTok. Oh, it's stupid. I'm like, well, you can't do it for a week or two and expect anything. Like, legitimately, it takes most of us 6 months to a year, I would say, to get a good feel, and that's a long that's a lot of effort before you get returned. But I can tell you, if you put in that work and worry much more about consistency on the front end than the quality and thumbnails and all that. Not that that's not important, but the most important thing you can do when you're starting out a channel is just do it and be consistent. And my philosophy is do at least one long form video a week or two, but one long form video, especially if that'll give you enough shorts to give you at least one short or reel a day, 1 or 2 a day. But if you plan to do one long form and one reel or short a day, that will build up over time. That's kind of what I do now on most of my channels, is I put out one long form video and at least one short a day, and it's working really well.
Yeah.
So you do one video, a long one, and all those shorts are from that long video.
Yep.
So you're just doing one task, and that is that 1 hour.
One recording, and then it's it takes a little time to do the shorts and reels. Now, as I've been doing it longer, I have a little better sense for what it does. But like, my average schedule is I'll do the video. My VA gets most of it done. It goes up, and then a lot of time in the mornings when I get up, I'll go on Opus, and I'll pick a clip for the day. It takes me, let's say, 10, maybe 15 minutes to go on, play with it, let it process, and then upload to my channels. So
But you could actually do an hour-long video and then have 10 shorts, And you could do all the work in one day by editing if you just put one day in, right? And
If
then
you want
go back
to.
and then just put them out.
Yeah, and you can schedule them out. You can schedule them out too. Like you can go in Opus and you can schedule it to go out at this time. Or what we do on one of my channels is because and we're actually just starting to add Facebook and TikTok in, but we have just been doing YouTube. And so what my VA would do is go to Opus. I would go into Opus, pick the clips, and then she would send them all to YouTube and then do some of the editing for me. Make sure they're scheduled. So we have certain time spots. We have enough data now that I know Tuesdays at 1:30, Tuesdays at 3:30, Wednesdays at this time are my good times. So we target our shorts and she'll schedule them right away. So you can go in. So here you can go into the YouTube desktop app and schedule them out and play with the title and description if you're just going to do YouTube. And actually, I think that's a good plan. Get comfortable with YouTube first. That the other ones are accessories. YouTube has to be sort of the engine for your operation here. So you can just send them over to YouTube, go into YouTube. You can schedule them all out. They'll automatically go out when you want to go out. So you could do them all on a Saturday and not have to think about it again till the next Saturday.
I mean, Craig, even with you, since you have so much content from how you started, I mean, have you thought about going back into your earlier videos with Jonah, dude, and just uploading those to Opus and kind of repurposing all that content?
I should, but I don't. I have so much content. That's the other thing to keep in mind is you don't have to be producing fresh content. Like literally people don't know, especially with shorts and reels. They don't know. And so I should be, and I'm not doing this. I should be going back and pulling the shorts and reels that did really well and just re-uploading them. I have so much content coming out of my ears. I just don't even have time to do that. I don't.
Yes, I got like 6. I got 6 interviews so far, and I have another 2 coming up in the next couple weeks. I think I'm gonna go back through all those interviews and let that be my kind of testing ground for Opus, and just get some shorts out of that, dude, and start putting that stuff out there.
Yep. And don't pay attention to views at first. Like
yeah. I mean, I know it's gonna be
you gotta
one. Well, I did have one short that was almost had 2,000 views. And some of the other ones have no views, 18, 24, I get it. But I was trying to think about that particular short. I think it was like something about the biggest success tip or something. I can't really remember. I have to go back and look at it, but it was really kind of cheesy in the opening, and then something kind of common sense, like everybody should know this. But
the other thing, the nice thing about Opus 2 is it's not necessarily pulling 15 seconds from the video. Like it will actually take pieces and put them together in a really elegant way. So it may be taken from different parts of the video. Usually it's taking from the same area and it's chopping out filler or stuff that doesn't make sense, which is why you can always go back and add stuff. But it's usually in every video there's a gem or two, and they're not all going to be the same. Like it's going to rank them, and it's pretty accurate in terms of focus on those top ones. The further you get down, the less likely it is to hit. But it's just about reps. Like you just keep doing it. Sometimes it works, some days it doesn't. Sometimes it's time of day. There's just a lot of things that control it that you just don't want to spend too much time thinking about the fine details and the analytics of your shorts starting out. You just make sure you're putting one out every day. And for the longest time, what we did is we put one out same time every day until we had enough analytics. Here was my thought process, and this could be totally wrong. I assume people are sitting on their phone over the noon hour in the break room, maybe at 3:00 break, whatever like that. I think most people, especially people my age, tend to be most active on YouTube and scrolling between like 1 and 4 p.m., 1 and 3 p.m. That's going to differ by demographics, and of course time zone. People are all over the place, but I focus on the afternoons. and I just keep putting it out one a day every day. Tuesdays through Thursdays tend to be better. I'm surprised people aren't scrolling their phone on Friday. Fridays are always a down day across all my channels, and you just learn that with experience. But just pick a time. I said this is going to be the same time every day. I would avoid being random about it. I would pick a time and do it so that you can start to see some trends. You can say, "Oh yeah, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock are always the best." If you're just constantly random or you're just posting whenever, you're not necessarily figuring out if there is a correlation between your time of day and that content. So that's kind of how I started out. I think that was the right play, and that's how I would do it again if I was starting out.
Yeah, they talk about that a lot in the book about looking at, he even talked about there was a couple of people that were like gaming channels, and they were like, oh, my times are going to be in the later in the afternoon when people are home from work, and they realize that, hey, listen, you need to do this in the morning for whatever reason. It was saying he should release the videos in the morning, and that gave him like an astronomical increase on views and everything. So I think being able to look at the data once you have it to adjust accordingly is going to be kind of critical in the future of all of our channels.
Yeah, and TubeBuddy, for example, might be able to start collecting and analyzing that data sooner. I just remember on YouTube, I think, and I don't know exactly what the tipping point was, but it was like 100 subscribers, 100 and some videos, maybe it was total play time. All of a sudden, this analytical data started showing up in my studio that I didn't have before. That really gave you information on your audience and when they're online. So you got to start doing that. You got to just start putting videos out every day, and just you got to stick with it. And it's got to be more than a few weeks. It's got to be more than a few months. Like I would say, minimum of 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and closer to a year is when you're gonna really start noticing it.
I love it.
Sean, on your YouTube channel here, it's all categorized neat and clean. Like, do you actually get to choose? You got For You, you got shorts, you got videos.
That's just the way the channel gets set up.
So that happens automatically for you.
Yeah. So then I don't really do a lot of headliner videos anymore because I don't think there's a lot of traction there. I don't waste my time with that anymore. But what I'm starting to use is Headliner has a feature for it gives you AI content. So it'll give you show notes, blog posts, newsletter, keywords for like hashtags. I'll take that stuff out, and then when I upload an interview, I'll use that for all of my social media stuff because the AI blog post, I mean, it's written really well. You might have to go in and change some of the names. It gets messed up. But as far as like them talking about the episode and giving you really good like overview, it's a lot easier than me having to sit there and type out what I'm talking about, the who and this, that, or the other. So I try to hold off on that for show notes and let the AI generate like a show note type of form for it and just copy and paste it when I do the video upload.
What do you use for that? What's the program that does that for you?
So Headliner does that. So we use that back in the Mastermind group before. And basically, once you have an account and you post a podcast, it finds a podcast in your feed once you give it the RSS feed, and then you can create like a manual audiogram. And then it gives you a couple of different features where you can pick like templates and whatnot. And then once you create the video, it'll ask you, do you want to create an AI generated promo pack? You just click yes, and it gives you some pictures which aren't really that good, but the show notes and keywords and hashtag stuff and blog posts, it writes it out for you, and you can just copy and paste that stuff into the video section when it's time to upload it.
One thing that I did because I used Zoom for the first year and a half, a little over a year, first 150 videos. Now this is in the paid plan, but the paid plan is only like, I don't know, $15 a month or something like that. But Zoom was really nice in that it would produce a video file, audio file, an AI transcript, and you could set up that it would summarize it. So it was an AI summary of it. Not necessarily designed as a podcast description. It's designed to provide a summary of what it thinks is a meeting, right? but it does provide a pretty nice summary. Or you can take the transcript. And so what I have done is taken and copied that transcript and put it in a chat GPT and say, would you summarize this as a podcast description for me? That's an option. I personally, and this isn't the right way to do it necessarily, but I didn't worry so much about the descriptions and having all that language in there and hashtags as much on the front end, because it does matter. But really, what YouTube is doing is it's listening to everything that's said. So what actually gets said on your video is far more important than what you say is happening in the description for purposes of the YouTube algorithm. So I have never spent a lot of time focusing on the description. The one thing that I have done as my other channel has gotten bigger is I put bullet points. Like I put the 5 key points. Some people, you can actually put chapters where they can go to the place in the video. But I probably put a bullet point, like here's the 5 things. Like here's the thing, someone can open it quickly and see, hey, do I want to listen to this episode this week? That's more for returning listeners, but maybe even new people. I think it might be as important or more important than a robust description. But I don't know. What do I know?
Well, I mean, I think it's just trial and error, dude. And then
Mm-hmm.
once you have enough stuff out there where you can make a educated decision, I mean, I think it just takes putting stuff out there, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally.
So I'm just on Opus clips here. So I got Pro, Starter, and a free plan. So what do you have? The Pro plan, Craig?
I do, and if this is a shameless plug for myself, but if you let me send a link, it'll do an affiliate for you.
Sure.
Why don't you go and send me that one too, buddy? No way you
Okay.
can.
Seems to be on sale right now, I guess. So 67% off or something.
Yeah, I think so. The way Opus works is you pay for so many credits or minutes.
Right, I see that.
I'd have to go back and look, and that's constantly changing. But I'm thinking that, and I do a lot. I mean, I put a lot of content on it. I would say for a decent show where you're putting out let's say one 30-minute video a week, it might run $100 a year, something like that. My bigger channel, we're putting out 2 long form videos a week, is probably more like $150. The more credits you buy, the cheaper it is per credit. So I'll have to look at that, but yeah, let me send you guys a link if you want to use it. I don't think the price changes for you, but they'll do something for me, I guess. And if you do use Opus, if you do guys sign up for the affiliate thing and then include the link. If you talk about Opus on any of the stuff you do, put your link in there. If people click on it, same thing with Amazon, you might as well get some benefit out of it.
Yeah.
Have you been getting benefits from promoting some of these different programs?
I've only really recently started. Like I have an affiliate thing for StreamYard. So if I put a StreamYard link there and someone signs up for StreamYard, actually Zoom too. I should have done Zoom a long time ago because I told how many people to use Zoom. Zoom has an affiliate thing too. So if you're thinking about buying anything that anyone talks about here, find out if anyone has an affiliate link. You might as well help each other out if you can.
Yeah, I'll probably jump. I'm going to look at StreamYard here. I'm kind of using Riverside right now, but I mean, if we're all using the same stuff, it makes it so much easier, right?
I think so. StreamYard is great if you want to get towards doing live streaming. I mean, that's what it's designed for. But to give you an example, so next week I have 2 separate live streams set up with other content creators who have their own channels, and I will be live streaming to my YouTube channel. My sort of host for that is going to live stream to his YouTube channel. And the beauty about that is when you live stream, once you kind of have a little bit of an audience, people can show up in the chat and they can engage with you, and you can bring those comments up and throw them on the screen and talk about it. That's a little bit of a longer play, but that's kind of the beauty about StreamYard versus Zoom. If you want to do more, and it generates a transcript and stuff like that. But StreamYard's really cool, like we're doing right now. You can have multiple people come in, and you can add banners and all that kind of stuff.
Craig, I know we talked yesterday a little bit about using Loom for creating videos for modules. I mean, even just today, by you going through showing us your screen while we're having this session, I think this would be much more beneficial for me to try to just focus on one thing and to make those modules, because it looked a lot cleaner than having, like, you know, you're still in the frame, but then you have a whole screen of your computer screen that's actually you can show while you're navigating someone, right? So I think that's going to be the investment as well, so I can start making those modules.
Yeah, so like when I did those videos, if you haven't looked at them, go check them out on my YouTube page. So I walked through. So I recorded the process of opening up that simple video channel, and I just started from opening up your Google account to creating the channel. I did that in Loom, which is really nice for that, whether you want to be in the camera or off the camera. That's what I do for staff. So like when I'm like documenting my processes and things like that, I just make a video and say, let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do this and why. And you go through the screen. I think Loom for most of us is a really great way if you want to create modules for people, whether it's part of like a real formal school or Kajabi thing, or just have them as unlisted videos on your YouTube page like I do. Like that's.
So do you think Loom will be better or StreamYard will be better for that?
For making the modules, I would say that Loom is better because it's just very simple. Like it's so simple and easy. You
Okay.
can pop it up. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on whatever. So it's simple and designed for that kind of like tutorial type stuff. You could do it on StreamYard. You could do it on Zoom if you wanted, with a share screen function.
Right.
I think for creating like a walk people through and show them how to do it, I think Loom has a lot of benefits to it. That's the way I would do it. And it works really good if you want to share that with your team member, like again, my VA, she signs into my account. She downloads it. She types up a kind of a written procedure based on what the video is, so Loom is really good for that. You could do it on StreamYard. Like you wouldn't have to have a separate Loom account, but it's really good if you're going to do that.
Okay, cool.
I probably have an affiliate link for that too. So if you want,
I think I have the free version of Loom. I don't know if there's a difference as far as what I get if I get like a paid version or whatnot. So
yeah, it's probably
just more hours to record.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'll look into that here in a second as well.
When you record or when you publish this, are you going to put the links down below because you talked about them, so people that are listening to this could then go to your affiliate link for each one of the software that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I can and I will, and that's what I've for this group I've been. I don't want to have 5 affiliate links in this group video. I don't think that's fair to anyone else. So what I have thought about is for every one of these videos, let everyone that shows up have your little bio and have a link, and you can change from week to week. That way we're not fighting over, otherwise we could end up with 30 affiliate links in the bottom of this. And, and so yeah. I would say my suggestion is everyone that shows up gets in the description, and you can have a link to your bio or your page. And if you want like one affiliate link, pick one for that week, and then we'll throw it in there.
Good.
Yeah. What I've been doing more, and I've been purchasing some domains for redirects. I know that Sean and Jeannie, I don't know if you have one, Chris, like if they want to get on your calendar, what is it, like book with Sean or whatever it is?
Yeah, so I just went to I think Namecheap is where Sam directed us to go. Whatever the affiliate is, and you can redirect it to a page on your website where your calendar is.
What's that called?
It's namecheap.com. And then it gives you an option once you get the domain, there's a redirect function on there. So whatever page you want to take them to, just type that website in there and it will redirect to your book a call page or get in touch with me or wherever you want to send them to, you can redirect them.
Is that what you use, Jeannie?
Say that again. What?
Yeah. Do you
Your book a call page is it through Namecheap redirect?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I've been thinking about everything we've talked about already. So
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to process everything.
Trying to process on 2 hours, young lady.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So mine's talktojini.com.
And,
So
and do you use a program? So you bought that domain on GoDaddy or whatever, but then how do you actually employ that domain? So that
it gives you options within it. Once you let me see if I can pull mine up real quick. Give me 1 second, Greg.
Man, I could probably put it on the screen if you want to share it, but
so mine's built out of WordPress.
yeah, but there's probably a site, some kind of a hosting site that is doing the redirect for you. And maybe it is on WordPress. I don't know.
Was it Bluehost or Blue?
I don't think that's
I think I originally bought my domain through Bluehost, theignitionfactor.com.
Oh, so Bluehost, you can actually buy domains through it.
I think that's just originally when I was setting up. We ended up doing that like a year ago.
Yeah, because if you pay for that if you pay for that platform to host your podcast, they give you free domain names. But mine all came from GoDaddy, and then we redirected them through Bluehost. It was complicated. They even said it. I hired somebody from Fiverr, and he's like, "Oh, this is really complicated." I always do things the hard way.
That's one thing I've been working on, and my VA is working on right now. Is I bought some domain names like Link with Craig, Talk to Craig, those kinds of things that you can drop in your audio, like people, and you just say it over and over again. And so people don't go to your descriptions, but they're like, talk to Jeannie. You say enough time, they're going to type it in, and it's going to get on and go over to your page. So those redirects are something I've been working on this week. And what I am doing is sending everyone to my Linktree account. I think I've talked about Linktree. I really like Linktree because it's kind of like a virtual business card where you can constantly be updating it, and like with Calendly, you can just change the options or what options are available, and you just update it on Linktree, but they're still going to Linktree to get that. Plus, you can direct them to your different socials and stuff like that. So that's what I've been working on. And once I get the redirect set up, I'll be dropping that in the actual recording as well as in the description if people want to try and get a hold of me or get on my newsletter or whatever the case.
Sean, you still use Bluehost, right?
I do, and I'm looking at my name sheet now, Craig, and I don't see. I know it's redirected, but I think that option happens when you're in the process of actually setting it up. Mm. It gives you would you like this to go? And I may have to go back and look at the video that Sam posted about the calendar being set up because it's been 20 months since I've done this. So let me go back and do some digging, man, to find that information. I'm pretty sure it was relatively easy.
Okay.
So it's like a basic copy and paste wherever that page is that you want to send them to.
Yep.
Just put a link in there and it gives you auto redirect function.
Yep. I think that's a really, as people more and more are listening to you or watching you on their phone, it's harder and harder to get them to go down to the description and click on links and things like that. So that's why it's important to be able to verbalize things, something they can remember. And the other thing that I've been looking at is an option they can text you right away. I was listening to someone's podcast the other day, and I went in the description and had an option where you can text them. So I pushed on it, it brought up the text feature on my phone. that's something that, you want to make it as easy as possible for people that listen to your content to go wherever, whatever you're trying to get them to do. Give them as many options and easy options to get there for you.
I have a question about the link tree because I have one, and I went to.
Mhm.
I'm looking at all my stuff. I need to update so much stuff, and I realized that because I gave up a domain name, and I had to shut down my whole website. That was a whole process a couple months ago, and so now my link tree is outdated. It's not going anywhere. It's just dead. But when I go and update it, so when because Linktree is really great. What you were
Mhm.
talking about, because I hooked my book to that and book a call. I mean, that tree is a tree, and so but again, I have to update it. Once I update that, are you saying that I could take that link and then put it on my YouTube notes and stuff?
Yeah, I would put the link to your link tree first thing in all of your content, all of your descriptions.
Oh,
Direct people to your link tree. You could still put links to, your Apple if they're on YouTube, whatever. But I think the best way is to promote everyone to go to your link tree, and then, like you said, you got to be updating it
mhm.
somewhat regularly, because that's not going to change. So Linktree/Genie is not going to change. It's always going to take people to Linktree, and then where you direct people within Linktree, you can change and update. If you've got an outdated URL, you can either turn it off or update it or whatever.
Huh, that's really easy because it's really easy to build. It's actually a lot of
Oh,
fun to put everything in there.
it's so easy, and the free
Yeah.
version is really good. Like
Yeah, that's what I use is the free version. Yeah.
yeah, you, you I think I have one paid version of it because it allows me to flip between the different link trees I have without logging out and logging back in. But I think that was the only reason to do it, because I have one for my professional one, I have one for this, and then on my other podcast.
Mm.
But Linktree is like, there might be other things out there, but it's really really good. Like, and if you really want to get cute, you can get like a QR code, put it on a sticker. If you're giving stuff away, a QR code that people scan takes you to your link tree. I think your link tree really is almost better than your website, because
Yeah.
it's so easy to use, it's very mobile friendly, and you can be constantly updating it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Linktree. I should be doing better at it, but I'm moving towards that and relying more on the Linktree as opposed to just having a bunch of links all over the place. And you can do your affiliates on there. If you say, hey, if you want to learn more about Opus, click on this, and then maybe you take it to a video about it, or just take you a straight link to your affiliate. You can have a whole bunch of links on that link tree.
I'm really liking that idea because when I'm doing my notes for my podcast, I got links, like I don't know, 3 or 4 links. Like I don't like that necessarily. So you can put them all in the link tree, which is great, just so it's one link. And talking about QR codes, I created business cards
Hmm.
with those QR codes because I meet a lot of people and they want to know about my podcast. I tell them to go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and they always go, "How do I find
Yeah.
it?" People are, I mean, we're so far advanced in what we do. Even some of the stuff I listen to when I hear you guys talk, I go, "Oh, I got to figure that stuff out." But most people don't know what we're talking about. So when I give them these cards, all they have to do is just scan and they go right to my podcast. And so I just hand out cards now because it's so easy. It's better than telling them because they just don't know. They don't even know where their app is on their
Totally.
phone.
I wonder if you can make a QR code that goes to your link tree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what you just
Exactly.
said. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have to redo some cards and just do the QR code for the link tree
Yeah,
because once they
perfect.
click on the link tree, it just lists everything instead of link by link, which is my brain can't comprehend that because my brain's like spaghetti, so it has a hard time focusing on just one thing. So if I can drill in to just make life so much simpler, oh,
Well, and
I
you
use,
could.
I use Blink for that. Is that what you use, Jenny? Blink, BLINQ, for the QR code? That's the one I use.
I don't know because what I did was I used an app to create the QR code,
Okay.
and that's just, and then my membership was up. I just did the free trial just to create the QR code. So
Okay.
I mean, once you create that QR code, however you create it, you can stick it anywhere, which is great because it works, you know. But I
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
link
that's
tree.
what I use.
You can put so much on that link tree. It's amazing. And then people go to what they want. They pull up that link tree and then they can choose instead of going by different links that we post.
And the link tree will have analytics, so you can
Oh,
check who's clicking on it, where they're clicking. Like you can just get so much data about your people. Same thing with the QR code. If you guys remind me, I'll put a link to the QR thing that I use that allows you to track like who's clicking on QR codes, where are they at, are they in Salt Lake City? Like it's pretty wild. So yeah, the QR code, that's really where I'm moving to. What I've been doing is my VA is building a QR code around my logo. So that's what I've been trying to do is brand, and so it's got my logo with the QR code. Once it's ready, I'm going to get a whole bunch of stickers printed, and I'll throw it on a business card. And just I'm going to be driving all traffic to my link tree unless and until something better comes out, because I think that is the real deal. I think that is a real
Yeah.
good approach.
so wait a minute. You can have a QR code app that collects all that data. I didn't know that you can have that.
Maybe that's only available if you have a paid plan, but
Yeah, 'cause I haven't seen
one
that.
I have is I don't know, it's a yearly subscription of $50 or something like that. And you can create multiple QR codes. And there again, you can go in there and you can change where that QR code goes to. So if it's right now going to your website and you want to change, I want now people to go to my link tree, the QR code will still work. You can change within the program where it's going to, or you can create there again, you can create different versions of the QR code that are going to your link tree. If you want to test it out, I'm going to put them on koozies. I'm going to put it on whatever keychains. So you can try different things, find out where people are using it. You could put the QR code on your videos now, which isn't really all that useful unless they're watching you on TV or something like that. But if you watch YouTube or TV at all, they're going more towards QR codes on the screen because people hold up their phone and they can go there.
Yeah.
They have them on. They have maintenance even on vehicles here.
Totally.
Which, and I've done it. I've like been behind somebody and I
Mhm.
put on my camera. So I really like QR codes, and they were using those years ago, but it didn't take off. But I think it's starting to take off now because it's so easy because people have their phones.
I'm going to be soon. I'm going to have a T-shirt with a big old QR code right on,
That's right. I think we talked about
That's what I was
that.
going to do.
and one on the back.
Yeah.
People are less, I think, hesitant to
Yep.
click on their back. So I'm just waiting till we get that QR code logo finished, and I'm gonna get hats and shirts and stickers and just try it out.
Mhm.
Greg, are you using a free link tree or using the starter?
I have 3 different Linktree accounts. I think 2 are free. 1 is paid. I don't know that the paid is all that important. Like I said, I think the main thing is the paid one allows me to flip back and forth to the different link trees within the same app without having to log in and log out all the time. But otherwise, the free one, I don't think there's many bells and whistles in the paid one that you can't get with the free. Maybe you could do more branding, maybe your logo.
Yeah, it's like upgraded style options, monetization support, scheduling, and audience insights for the starter. It's like $4 a month.
Yeah.
Craig, how do you have an Excel sheet or something? How do you keep track of all these memberships that you have? Like you're just rattling these off, like $50 here, $100 here a year, and I'll tell you something. I do that, and all of a sudden my credit card's charged. I'm like, wait a minute, what was that for? And then I realized that I had signed up for something a year ago for a yearly membership, and I forgot I had it. So, do you have an Excel sheet that you keep track of all this stuff?
I have a VA that manages the Excel sheet because for a long time I didn't know. Like,
Oh,
I'm not the organized person. I'm the guy that goes and chases and does things, but keeping track of that, I am not good at. So I have a VA who manages an Excel sheet. So she manages all my subscriptions, all my domains. Like we have all kinds of Google Sheets. So I'm a big fan of using Google Sheets because we can both interact on that. Same thing with the content. So like anytime I get done recording a video, I go onto the Google Sheet, which I can get on my phone, computer, whatever, click in, title. I say where it's at. Is it in StreamYard? Is it in Dropbox? Is it somewhere else? So I let her know where it's at. Because depending on what I'm doing, like, so like my GoPro, my action camera, when I record on here, I upload it to Dropbox and she accesses it there. So it's got a little, we got a whole Google Sheet built out. So she knows where to find it. And then I let her know which channel or which page this should go to, which if I want on Instagram and Facebook, we got a whole Google Sheet built out. And that has been a lifesaver only because I have a VA that's doing that for me. Otherwise I'm completely disorganized.
I heard something when I went to hear Jaden. He's the AI for business. He's got several podcasts I shared about, and went to see us. He invited us, several of us here in Phoenix, to his studio. What I didn't know for VA, he talked about VAs, and here's a little hack I didn't know, and I haven't tried it yet, but that you can hire interns and you don't have to pay anything. So a lot of the universities around here, well, around the country, doesn't matter, that they are looking for credits for people that are earning credits for people that are starting businesses, and they're available to come in and work with you. You teach them what you want them to do, but then they'll work for you for a semester or a quarter. I'm gonna have to try that. And the more he talks about this stuff, he goes, you can actually put an ad out. You just need somebody to volunteer to help out, and to these universities. And he said you are going to be shocked that there are a lot of people that will apply, and your biggest problem is going to have to learn to say no. And I'm like, no, oh my gosh. So he does it, and he said it really works. And there's different. I wrote them down, but there's different sites that you can go to, because there's a lot of sites out there that are looking for volunteer work for credits.
Wow.
For different, and if I find them, I'll put them in our YouTube channel or our Facebook group, because there's different links you can go to apply for or request an intern.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, isn't it? And I thought, oh my gosh, that'd be great. But like he was saying, you have to teach them. So like, for example, let's say you want them to manage your Excel sheet. You want an SOP to teach them, or have that all written out, so that you can not only tell them, but have an SOP so that they can look at that and know what to do. So you're not hand holding all the time. So you're coaching them and teaching them, but they'll get the work done for you at no cost.
So that's one of the things that I'm working on right now is taking all of our SOPs and our Loom videos and figuring out like how to make it available to other people. I don't know if we'll offer it for free or sell it. I haven't decided yet, but that is the biggest thing is training people how to do it. And so that's one of the things I'm working on, is to make that stuff available. Whether if you have an intern, whatever, you can purchase a module for them and then go through all the videos and learn how to do what it is that I do, at least, or and probably the next level then is I'm actually going to probably hire VAs and offer it as a service. If you want to purchase a VA plan that they already know how to do YouTube, they already know how to do Opus, they know how to do all this stuff. If you just want to pay someone to come in and get your YouTube going and do the 80% of it, I'm going to be offering that, but that's down the line. I mean, for people that are very busy, that is good. If your time is sort of in shorter supply than your money, that it's nice to be able to find, have people that are already trained and can do it. And that's something that I'm working on right now.
What I've heard too, because I'm really into AI, so I've been listening to a lot of people that are in that industry that are building software, or just they're not coding, but they're using software. And they're saying very specifically, when you hire a VA, I'm not talking about what you do, because you're setting it up for people to hire a VA and do it right. But if you're just going to Fiverr or Upwork, that you should really hire them to do something very specific,
Mhm. Mhm.
because if you don't, and these guys are saying they went through like 3 or 400 interviews to get the right person.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to tell them it very specifically, because once they know how to do something, then you say, "Hey, can you build a website?" Of course, they're going to say yes, because they want to earn more money. So you want to make sure, unless you train them like what you're doing, but what you're doing is really a business, because that's what people need. I don't
Mhm.
want to go spend all my time on Fiverr and Upwork and try to find one person to help me with my emails. If I can have someone like what you're doing, is training them how to do all these things, are you kidding? Of course I would hire. I'm gonna be the first one that hires one of your VAs, because after
Yeah.
you train them, I don't want to train them. I just want to tell them what to do. And also, one other thing before I forget, what because I was on this AI for business webinar the last couple days, and what they said is really important what you're doing, Craig. I know you're doing it for VAs, but they said it's really important that you create SOPs as you go for your business,
Mhm.
because you know have no idea what the future is going to what the future is going to be like, and somebody might come in and want to buy your business, and
Mhm.
you want to have everything set up with the SOPs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of work for us to do between me reading that YouTube formula and listening to all this AI information, which is amazing, which is only going to help us be better at what we're doing, and get us there quicker to our goal. There's a lot in how to manage it and keep it straight. They Yesterday they just hounded the idea of getting a VA. They said, please, please go hire a VA, because you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to quit. I'm like, yeah, been there, done that, when there's so much to do. All I want to do is create content. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do all this other stuff, but I have to. I have to do it and then
Yeah.
teach them how to do it.
It's I totally agree, and I have found that creating the content I did takes about 20% of the process I kind of need to do, which includes like actually making the videos. 80% of it can be done by someone that knows how to do it and an internet connection. So if you have like a shared Google Drive, shared access to Opus, you have to make them a manager of your YouTube account. If I could do it all over again, like if this thing existed, this is exactly what I would have done, because I would have wanted to be able to hire someone, have people that can do it, train, and like you said, it's really when you're dealing with VAs and especially with interns, there's just going to be a high turnover. They're looking for something else. So it's the training part of it is so time consuming that, like you said, have them do the SOPs. Like, you can just do a video and say, let me walk you through. Sean's putting one of his podcasts together. I'm going to show you from point A to point B how I do it. Just record it on Loom, give it to your VA, say, watch this video, and now I want you to put a description of what I just did. Because now it'll be in their terms, and it'll be from their perspective, which is really important, especially a new person, because then if you have to replace them, it's kind of geared towards someone, not you, it's geared to someone that's coming in fresh, trying to figure out how to do it. So I'm a huge, huge fan of that. And also, what I've been telling Sean is if you can do that, it makes it scalable because you can sell or introduce, people can just purchase your modules and do most of it themselves, or maybe with the assistance of a VA. Sean doesn't have to be the guy that's setting up everyone's podcast. There's only so much of Sean to go around, and you have to charge more because your time is so much more valuable.
Hmm. Well, and then if you do have VAs or interns that move on, you have everything set. You have everything lined up. So all you have to do is just give them the information, and they can just take it from there. So these are really helpful tips. I'm glad I'm hearing them now, so I can start using them now. And I don't have a problem letting things go. People think I do. It's not that. It's the finances, the financial piece, because I'm paying $100 here. I got more money going out, but not enough money coming in to replace all that. So that's why I don't probably do as much as I want to do. It's just because I gotta make sure I'm keeping up on paying for this and paying for that. And there's so many different AI tools I want to use, but then the memberships add up. It it might not seem like a lot, because $50 doesn't seem like a lot to me, or $100, but it
adds up.
adds up after a while. And when you start a year goes up, and I'm like, oh shoot, man, I got $500 going out this month or 600 on these membership fees. So
Do have to keep track of that. I'm as guilty as anyone.
you know, this is interesting. At Christmas time, I was on a webinar with my AI software I just got to focus on that because it's in beta. It's a beta test software, so it's cool because it's updating all the time. And I didn't realize I was in the beta test, but it's been fascinating to watch them build a multi-million-dollar business. I've shared this before. They hope to have $1 billion business over time, but it is so fascinating to watch them. But one of the guys on there really believes in the software, and he goes, it was Good Friday, and they had all these sales on these apps, and he went nuts. So he's buying all these apps, and then afterwards he gets back on our mastermind call, and he's telling Trey, who is the founder and the developer of this website or this software, and he's telling them, and he goes, I came back, and he goes, a couple days later, and he said, I don't need any of these apps. I just need this piece of software. And Trey, the founder, goes, you got to just focus on several. Don't overwhelm yourself and pay all these fees. Just focus on the apps or the software you like that you find is comfortable and it's going to move you forward, because you're going to get too overwhelmed and then you're going to stop. So even in that, we have to be careful that we don't get overwhelmed, because these AI tools are updating daily and they're outdoing each other. So, you've got Perplexity. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But it's like overtaking ChatGPT, and they're getting better every single day because they're competing. And I think it's fascinating, but I just got to hang on, and take action.
Yeah, it's true, and I know I kind of rattle off a lot of different. I'm the prototypical the guy that chases the shiny object all
Me
the time.
too.
But if I had to like start over from the beginning, there's certain key things that I would want. So like I would start a YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you anything to start a YouTube channel. You can do it on a free Google account. So you have a Google account, a YouTube channel. I would definitely pay for Opus. That would be my first purchase. And Linktree, the free Linktree. Like those would be the key. Like you can go from there, and you can upload to Spotify and Apple for no cost. Obviously you have your mic and camera, and if you're going to use StreamYard or Riverside or whatever, but Zoom. I think I would definitely find a platform for recording stuff that you can do cloud based. I would not record it all on my phone, but if you do that and then just focus on that, and again, it's so much more important to be consistent and just keep doing it every single day, week in and week out. I think is way more important than all these other things, but they're nice. They do make time savers if you're strategic about it.
Thank you. That was good. I like how you broke that down. Yeah. And then everyone has said this, these, entrepreneurs that are building these software and sites or these apps, they say the same thing. Just keep it simple. Don't make this thing complicated, or else you're gonna quit. So just get yourself comfortable using the tools you're comfortable with, and then move forward. And then, what's really great too? They said in this webinar yesterday with the AI for business, these people were saying the same thing I did. They said, we're on a limited income. What do you suggest? And these guys were great. I'm really lucky that I have found great people, including this mastermind group. And they said the tools are out there. You don't have to pay. Just use the free version. Get comfortable with them instead of paying for them. And you've got tons of tools to start. And then you can go for the pro in these different apps and software. But they go, it's all out there for you. Just look for it and use it. And so it's a great time to start a business.
Yeah, the hardest part, honestly, is there's so many options. Like you just get overwhelmed. Like that's sort of been so that really has been the genesis of my new, just keep it simple video. make the process as simple as possible, especially starting out. I'm an absolute believer in that. And then eventually you'll get to the point where your time, the one thing I'll caution people is this. Most of us, especially entrepreneurs, undervalue their time and
Yes.
overvalue their money. I'm not saying don't worry about money, but your time spent, generating more content or engaging with your audience is in almost all circumstances better spent than doing the editing and all these things that might be done much more quickly by a VA or an app or program. At some point in time, you're going to reach a limit on the amount of time or bandwidth that you have to do these things. And so I would just tell people to start out simple, but don't plan to do everything yourself for too long, because that is the limiting factor. At some point, if you don't value your time, people that you're trying to sell to are not going to value your time. Like, you have to believe it. You have to believe that your time is worth what you are charging people for whatever you're offering.
Right.
And I think that's reflected in how you spend your time. So that was a mistake I made for far too many years, is I just didn't value my time as much, and I was just wasting my time on stuff that just wasn't a good use of my time. I try to really focus on that 20% as much as I can, and I think for most people that is sort of the risk you got to take. Like, you got to be willing to take that leap, because it's not going to immediately pay off, but I think long term it definitely will.
And I'll tell you, I'm been at this for a long time. I started podcasting in 2016, and I had to go through 2 podcasts because I did everything the wrong way. But in that process, I'm embarrassed to tell you, and I know people are listening that have gone through the same thing. I have spent, this is really embarrassing. I remember working on my logo that I don't even use anymore, and I would spend days working on that logo, and then I send it to Jimmy at Fiverr, and he gets that thing done. I don't even think about it. This is what I want, and he sends it to me and sends me several.
You gotta go, Chris?
Yeah, I got to run too.
All right.
I better go too, because I could talk a lot too. So
catch y'all during the week. I got a few questions, so I'll just put it in the chat.
Sounds good, Chris. Sorry we occupied the conversation.
Oh, it's awesome. I love it. Normally I do, so I'm glad someone else did.
All right. We'll get you next week.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Hey, Craig,
Mhm.
were you guys going to talk about time management or today?
I can if you want. I'm still recording. You want me to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I've said this before, but tasks will it will take as much time as you give them. And I'm constantly told by people that I don't have the time for that, and I know they don't have anywhere near the hectic life that I do. And so I'm far from a model of task management, but some of the things that I do is, and I've been doing it recently, is in the morning. So one of the things that motivates me to get up in the morning is I get to do some clips. I pick the clip that I'm going to do for that day on Opus. So I actually like that. And I get up in the morning, and it's usually when I'm drinking my coffee, and I'll decide which Opus clip I'm going to use for one of my channels that day. So that's one thing, as opposed to batching it. I personally find it more difficult to sit down and, like I said, schedule out 5 clips for the week than to do one every morning. So that's one thing that I do is I pick one spot and I focus for 15, 20 minutes, and I do that. I really try to restrict my email. I actually have my VA manages most of my my email, and I only check email a couple times a day. That's a big thing. You just have to find the time of day that you are most effective. For me, that's mornings between like 8 and 11 a.m. is when I'm the most effective. I'll put my phone away. I'm not, I just try and focus, and I'll schedule and say, okay, I'm going to work for an hour on this, or I'm going to work on this. That's hard to do because I am the squirrel. I am the guy that is just multitasking, but find some times a day that you're going to focus and you're going to do it when you're at your best. That's a really important block that, and not be stopping every 7 minutes to check Facebook or check your emails or things like that. That's really important.
But how
Um,
do you, I'm not understanding how you do this with a family and with 9 kids and your work, and then you are podcasting and putting out content more than all of us put together. So I'm not understanding how you're doing all this.
well, a couple things. Number one is I have a VA, so she does 80% of the work that actually takes to generate the content.
Oh,
I do. So for me, a lot of it is doing it early in the morning. So I get up at 5 a.m. most days, and I've got a window from 5 to 6:30 during the school year when no one's up, and I can work on stuff. Um, and so, like on my podcast with Jonah, usually record. We do 2 episodes usually on Wednesday morning, starting at 5:30 a.m. So 5:30 and 6:30 we record in the mornings. That's distraction free. Saturday mornings I've got blocked off for this. Saturday mornings is when I'm free to kind of do what I want, and I try to, like, you know maybe I'll do some research, maybe I'll play with my logos and stuff like that, but I try to limit that to a certain period of time. So it's a lot of it is just saying no to a lot of things, I guess. I don't watch television. I don't watch sports or anything like that. I get up early in the morning. I got an hour and a half in the morning that I can do what I want and eat my breakfast, drink my coffee, and do video editing. Usually it's kind of what I do in the mornings. And then I work during the day. I do some episodes, so we've been doing more live streams at around like 4:30, 5 o'clock on Monday afternoons. We do that. And then in the evenings, I don't really think about anything. I don't do work. I don't do this. I just relax with the family, get the kids ready for bed, that kind of stuff. So it's about early mornings and Saturday mornings is kind of what I do, and just delegating the heck out of stuff. Like you'd go crazy. You can't imagine the type of stuff I delegate to my VA. Like anything I can delegate, I have her do.
oh, really?
Mm.
And so, are you recording at home right now?
No, I'm at my office. I can't record at home.
I was just going to
Um,
ask you how you're doing that with the kids. So that's why you don't have kids running in and out, and because you're at the office.
yeah, I mean, for a while, we recorded out on our school bus
You
early morning.
did?
Yeah,
Oh my
uh,
gosh, that's so cool!
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I mean, I could, I could record it if I had. I just don't have an extra room in our house where I could put my mic and stuff. I have the equipment. I have an extra mic. I could set it up at home. But we have a small house, and I don't have a quiet area that I could go and do it. So I come here. It's distraction free. This is where Jonah comes. We record here, but you could record anywhere, but I like to have kind of a controlled environment. So I guess that maybe that makes me a snob. I don't know.
Oh,
But
that's so you're at your office, and is that like 10 minutes from your house or something? Or how far away is your
5 minute drive, it's like 3 miles, six minutes. So it's very easy to hop in and do it.
Oh, that is nice.
Mhm.
That way you can focus.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have never figured out how to do stuff at home very much that requires any kind of thought and attention. And occasionally I will try and record something at home, and it's inevitable that a kid will come screaming through the room at that time, like, or a dog will bark or something stupid like it.
yeah, because I'm like, yeah, there you just I'm like, how
No,
does this work for you? I don't hear nothing. I don't hear kids. I don't hear anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because I do everything at home, and I have a smaller place. It'd be
Mhm,
different if I had my home. I sold my home when, we were going through the 2008, 2009 housing market crash here in
mhm,
Phoenix. It was really bad here. So we, sold our house, got out of that, but so now we're in a smaller place, which is great. It's really a nice area and everything, but I just kind of got into a heated discussion with my husband yesterday because he needs the office because he works at home, and he is so good at not complaining or anything. He said, I really think you need to move into this office and I'll go into a smaller room so
Mhm.
you can have it. And eh, I think because I'm so distracted where I'm sitting
Mhm.
right now that
Mhm.
anybody can walk in.
Yeah.
Like I told, behind me there is a bedroom, and
Mhm.
so my husband's in there, and I'm like, okay, don't come out of the bedroom while I'm on him. So I think if I could just have this office back again, and we can't share the office because we're both talking. He's talking on the phone, I'm recording, and we can't do that in the same room. So we have to be in separate rooms. So I was just wondering how on earth you do it with all those kids and your
Yeah,
full
that's what I've done. I mean, ideally, I'd have just a small like an oversized closet.
yeah.
But there's no safe place when you have 9 kids, so I just don't do it
Yeah.
there.
But people think you're crazy when you talk about recording in a closet, which I have, and I've recorded in my car. It's just the acoustics are really good,
Mhm.
and I've heard podcasters though say they record from their closet just because the sound's
Mhm.
really
Yep.
good. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think for most people that probably works, especially if you don't have small children around. I mean, that would be a better situation for me because it would create less, like, again, having to go somewhere else to record creates a layer of complexity that could discourage content. But I find it very nice to not have to just go and hop in here, start recording, and I can leave. I don't have to pick anything up.
Right.
So for me, it works best to just have this designated spot and hop into town, or when I'm here anyway, and then go home.
Okay. That
Hmm.
way you can turn it off and turn it on.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that works. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I have to run. Um, yeah, I can tell you why I have to run, when we're done recording.
All right. Let me do this then. I'll wrap up the recording and then we can chat a little bit before you go. So thank you everyone who still hung around. Thank you everyone for listening. And until next time, everyone, have a good one.